So this morning, released a video on LocalSend. So LocalSend is pretty awesome. It's an application, open source, it's cross-platform, and it helps you send files, basically point to point, but it uses the networks. Not using Wi-Fi direct like AirDrop, but it is using the network that you're on to transfer files securely between each other. And this is something that I've been searching for a while. Like I said in that video, like I wanted to use Snapdrop, used it before in the past. It's not working anymore. Then I saw PairDrop, Linux Server IO also has an image for that. That disappeared. There's some comments talking about, I don't know, GitHub removing him and based on some things that he did. So I was just like, yeah, not gonna get involved with that. And then started looking. I found this thing called LocalSend, and man, it turned out to be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Like when someone recommended it, I saw it somewhere, Reddit. I was like, okay, yeah, there's no way like this is gonna be, as awesome as people are talking about. And then I saw it, and I was like, whoa, this thing has 30,000 stars. How have I not heard about this? But anyways, if you're looking for something to transfer files around, it is great. I used it to make that video and transfer all the files around, and then take all those recordings and then bring them back on my editing machine. I actually used LocalSend like 20 times during that video, and that's when I was like, okay, this is awesome. This is awesome. I'm sticking with it because it works, and like my whole editing workflow was changed while I was making that video. So I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Sponsor the project too. Randoneering, thank you so much. Prime sub, 15 months, dude. Thank you so much. I feel like I hit this last month. Just working on getting Ollama set up on the network and working on a project building off a Hugo site template I love. I use it for my site, but I wanted to fully customize the colors and add some new features. Dude, yeah, that sounds awesome. Sounds like you got quite the projects going on. Some self-hosted AI as well as theming a Hugo theme, I guess, using a Hugo template to do it. Dude, thanks for the continued support. Appreciate it. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Also, part of was it yesterday? Was it yesterday morning? Man, these days are long. Yeah, yesterday morning. As you can see, I don't have servers back there. Don't have servers back there anymore. They're in the Colo. So yesterday morning, I met with a local group that's hosting some stuff in a data center near me, and met them and met him, and we hung out for about 3 hours in rack servers. It was pretty good, So that's coming soon. Did tear up my fingers a little bit, but you know how that goes. Anyways, but yeah, so that's coming. Super excited for that too. And I will shut up here in a little bit and figure out what is going on. Lots of subs. I will shut up here in a second too and get into what you're working. So, dude, Kev M92 continued the sub prime sub. Thank you so much. Thanks for continuing your sub. Nola Shadow, subscribe with Prime. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope I'm not missing anything. Sometime I'm looking at 2 systems for seeing my activities, and I just hope that I'm not missing anything, which reminds me, no, I'm just going to go with this one. Not going to mess with the stream. When I mess with the stream, things go weird. Anyways, but if I missed something, call it out. So anyways, going back to what you guys are working on, throw it in chat. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to start bringing them up here real quick, and we're just going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about stuff related to tech. But yeah, I hope you guys are all doing good. Got a little headache, and I do have to stop on time. Started a couple of minutes late. I will end a couple of minutes late, but I do because we got places to be, and we're actually going to arrive late. But I didn't want to cancel the stream, so I'm here. But anyways, this time is yours. But I do have to leave short on time. I'll say that. Every time I say that, I end up running late. Anyways, but not this time. Not this time. PC Geek, how's it going? Yes, how's it going? Banana Takano? Or was it? Oh, no, that was me. PC Geek Banana. Need to get my eyes checked. Noise to you. Hello, how's it going? PC Geek. Music is really low. Thank you. I fixed that. Thank you. Check. Okay, yeah, my mic checks. Here we go. Zendy. I'm thinking of converting my desktop to a rack mount. Any good cases to look for? Maybe also DIY inside of an old server case, Dell HP, but has to be big enough. Yeah, so it's a good question. I've done this. I've done this a couple times. There are decent Rosewell cases that are out there. There's a decent Chenbro case that I used for a long time that's really good. It's kind of hard to find. Then there's, you know, there's all kinds of cases. I will say they're a little bit more expensive when you go that route. And it's going to be tough if you're thinking about used enterprise cases, because most of those are, you know, custom made for their board or fit a certain board of their type. But you might get lucky. And if they don't, you know, and if you don't, there's always like PC conversion cases. So Roswell, or Roswell, however you pronounce it, theirs are usually pretty good. But like I said, I had a Chenbro one. There's a handful of them out there that are great to do just that with. They do get a little pricey though, but maybe you can find a used one. But it's awesome. It's awesome converting and putting something in a rack mount case. It keeps everything tidy. That's what I think. BP Clink 66. Greetings and salutations. Greetings and salutations. That was Charlotte's Web. Howdy, happy Saturday. How's it going? Gold Coast. Good evening from Switzerland. Thank you so much from Switzerland, dude. Oh my gosh, there's even more. Sorry. Nola Shadow, thank you. I think I said that. Thanks for the prime sub. Mafney, or Muffin. I was thinking about that last night, how I still call you Maffin. Mafney and Twitch and Muffin or Mafin outside. But dude, thank you so much. Oh, gifted sub, dude. Thanks. How's it going? It is funny. I was thinking of you last night. Even though we've never met in person, met on voice chat, but I wonder if you still like, it's Muffin, not Mafney, but I get it. But dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I don't know who got your gifted sub. It's hard for me to see. Fran, it's hard for me to see. But dude, thanks for gifting us. Appreciate it. Man, franchise, how's it going? Good to see you. Continued sub tier 1. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dude, Kev, 100 bits. Thank you so much, man. The hype train is real. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Hey, Tim and y'all, can you recommend a tool to create a dashboard to self-host? I want to share it with my teammates, so login is required. It should also be easy to configure it for my less than tech-savvy coworkers, and not just be static content if possible. Yeah, that's a lot of requirement. So immediately I was thinking, oh yeah, I just did one. Yeah, on homepage, no, can't be homepage. But you're thinking about a dashboard, so I was thinking, okay, more dashboard style. I mean, there is, you know, there's all kinds. You probably want monitoring too, and if it's also going to include auth, you know, that's a tough one too. I mean, I'm torn because Uptime Kuma is great. But once you start scaling it, I don't mean scaling like actual service, but once you add lots of services, you know, it tends to slow down a little bit. And you know, I'm just torn because like if this is for enterprise and it's for your team, you know, it's hard to recommend something like that because you know, once you start getting into enterprise applications, you think scale, you think this should be, you know, it should be able to handle 200-300 monitors. It should be able to scale or be highly available. But so that's where I'm kind of torn. Like Uptime Kuma is great for home, absolutely, and for small teams, yeah, absolutely, it's great. Once you start getting enterprise stuff, that's kind of tough. But it does fit the bill on everything else. It does have auth, does have auth, and easy to configure. So it might be worth a shot. I mean, use it till it doesn't work anymore, right? I mean, that's going to give you the most bang for your buck. If your buck is 0, except for your time, it's going to be good. And then from there, then you can decide if you need something else. But yeah, thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see. What are y'all working on this weekend? That's what I'm asking. Absolutely. What are you guys working on? Let's see. PC Geek. I'm finally in my new office, but so far, my motorized standing desk is wiggling slightly, making my monitors move when I type. Hey, you feel the pain now. Hey, you feel the pain now. The struggle is real. I have the same thing going on. I have the same thing going on, and to make it worse, my camera is on this extended arm that, you know, has about 4 feet of arm, so it like picks up everything. So it's tough. I don't know. I forget if you had there's an A-frame or an I-frame or something. You have the one where the posts are in the middle. It's a little bit better. A little bit better. I don't know which frame you have. I can't remember, but that's awesome. Glad you got it up and going. Yeah, the bouncing is kind of tough. It gets kind of tough, especially when you start attaching lots of stuff to it, or you put a big monitor on it. Kind of gets with you a little bit. But there are some frames that are better than other. I can't remember which one you have. Retho, 1976. Good evening from Germany. Guten Tag. Setting up my TrueNAS backup server. All right, that is awesome. Good project to do, especially since you say, hey, you're using it for backup. That is always good to get something in place like that, especially, TrueNAS for backups. Yeah, it's fantastic. Mine's been running great ever since I set it up and rebuilt it and moved to new hardware. It's totally set it and forget it now, and I love it. I love it. And yeah, I don't know that I could. I don't know that I could do all the things that I could do without a NAS in my environment. And TrueNAS makes it super simple for sure. Heyo, Sabotage, how's it going? Look at that plastic hair on there. Sabotage, how's it going? Romeo Jr., yo, how's it going? Jenna Ryan, after years of procrastination, getting PXE going with Netboot XYZ, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Fun little project. I still have it running in my environment. I love it. I love it. It's great. And the funny thing is, I made a short on that just to make it. That thing's almost got 1 million views on it. I'm like, really? It was something I didn't even think I was gonna do. But yeah, my YouTube short, it's like almost got 1 million views. I was like, I don't have anything with that many views. But I guess people like me throwing like USB drives in a trash can. That's the only thing I can. Obviously, a great project. And it's super fun once you get it. Once you get it going, it's super fun. Because then you could just, deploy from anywhere. F12 from anywhere on your network. And you're like, yeah, I'm installing some OSs. Rubenus Resti. Sorry, that was terrible pronunciation. But hi from Netherlands. Hey from the United States. How's it going? Good to see you in chat. Hello. I'm exploring Semaphore. Awesome. Yes, Semaphore. So a UI for Ansible, like AWX, but a little bit simpler to set up. And awesome. Yeah. Let me know how it goes. I'm sure a lot of people like Semaphore. I haven't personally used it yet, but I need to I should probably get it set up in my environment too, instead of running a lot of the stuff manually. I run my automation manually. It's like, now I need to automate my automation with Semaphore, or basically schedule my automation now, because I'm old school. I manually run my automation. No, but I absolutely do need to check it out. I run my CI. My CI is automated. I get a pass there. But my Ansible stuff, I do manually pick those off for updating stuff and stuff like that. But awesome. I need to explore Semaphore sometime soon. It's definitely in my backlog. It's on my short list for sure. Under Curve TV, I might try and update my static link redirect to include a links page, kind of like a static LittleLink. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, static pages are great. Why? Because they only take a tiny web server to run. They can be cached worldwide. They're super fast to load most of the time, depending on how many pages you have. We're talking about a links page, so these all apply. And then a small attack vector, because you're usually just running Nginx. And if you really want no attack vector, you just have Cloudflare, or you have GitHub, or someone else host it for you. And then just point your DNS there. And then you have no attack vector, and on top of that, it's still running super fast and everything. But awesome, yes. LittleLink, the site that I based my container off of, it is awesome. It is great. It is great for sure. Oh man, I was rolling in. Blockbog on Networks. Hey, how's it going? Resub with Prime. Thank you so much. 16 months. How's it going? Enjoyed the latest video on LocalSend. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I should probably bring this up too, because you mentioned this, and I didn't even think about it. Me being a developer, I assumed that everyone kind of understood or knew this too. Hey, real quick, Alexander. Hey, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. 6 months. Let's go. Half a year. But Blockbog on Networks, you were talking about this, and you had called something out in Discord, and you said, hey, like, this PC Geek, thanks for the 100 bits, dude. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I will finish my thought, I promise. Thanks, I appreciate it. But you had mentioned, hey, this thing Flutter, Google made it. I don't know about it. I don't want anything to do with Google. Totally understandable. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. People are trying to de-Google for all different types of reasons. And that's when I thought, like, oh, man, totally. Like me, you know, I've developed a little bit with Flutter before. I know that even though Google built it and it's open source, it doesn't mean it has, you know, meat hooks into Google services at all. It's a framework that Google built and just said, hey, it's open source. Everyone use this if you want. You know, and it's similar to Angular and similarly, like Facebook initially created React and React Native for developers, front-end developers everywhere to use, but it doesn't have any ties into Facebook whatsoever. So no, that was a good call out in Discord. I sometimes I totally forget. I need to remember. Not my whole audience is not developers. So, but anyways, glad you're here. Thank you so much for the resub. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Going back to chat. Let's see. Oh, hello. Hey, Netherlands. I don't know how that's pronounced. I wish I did. It looks fun to pronounce, but I'll just say, hey. Probably not how it's pronounced at all, but it looks fun. Gold Coast, working on a dedicated AI machine. Awesome. This is what I was just talking about when I was on the HomeLab show earlier this week. But more of a budget build with an RTX 3060 and 12 gigs. Hey, that it doesn't sound like a budget build to me. But you're right. It is a budget build when it comes to AI because, you know, you need a video card with lots of VRAM. And so, you know, 3060, while is, you know, pretty expensive, it's not something to balk at. At the same time, it is budget when you get into this realm. So that's awesome. You have to let me know some of the other hardware choices. I'm going to be doing the same here shortly, too. I just talked about it with Jay and Tom Lawrence on the HomeLab show earlier this week. Man, I did a lot this week. I don't know. I did more than my normal. Yeah, but anyways, Yakto, how's it going, man? Yakto, holding down YWS. I have a really big switch to configure. Yeah, you do. That switch is like, I don't know, 8U or something. Like, I've never seen anything like it. To me, it looks like a pachinko machine. A pachinko machine is like, how do I describe it? It's like slots in Japan, except for it's kind of like Plinko from The Price is Right, but has more gadgets in it. Anyways, looks like one of those because I'm like, there are so many interfaces on this thing. I don't even know what all of these interfaces do, but it looks awesome, and you should totally check it out in our network channel and Discord. It's pretty amazing. I wish I even knew what it could do. I think it's like 100 gig switching or something insane. But and YWS does not disappoint. Good to see you, Yakto. That guy, Aus, troubleshooting why my NIC keeps going down on my Raspberry Pi in my Kubernetes cluster. Yeah, that's tough to track down. Most likely it's going to be, I don't know. I'm just throwing out stuff. I would say your distribution or your drivers. That should be pretty solid though. I don't know. I wish I knew. Hopefully it's not wireless. I doubt it is. But man, I wish I knew. Any time that stuff has happened to me in the past, it's been some distribution or older or newer distribution of something, and just didn't like it. It stinks when it's SBC too, because it's not something you could like easily swap out with another NIC. So yeah, man. Good luck. I hope you figure it out, dude. Lockbog on Networks, dude. Thank you so much. Gave out two subs to the community, dude. Thank you so much. Thanks for the gifted subs. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You guys do too much already, but I appreciate it. I am not using the chat system where I can tell who got it, but enjoy it. Enjoy. I think it says in the real chat, but I have like 3 chats going on right now, so I can click on chat. But yeah, dude. Thank you so much, Blockbog on Networks. Good to see you. Thanks again. I am Utba. It's either I am I am Utba, or I'm I'm going with I am Utba. Hey, Tim, finally got a chance to be in your live stream. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. I like it. Yeah, thank you so much. Let me know how to pronounce your name phonetically, and I would love to pronounce it the right way because it helps me, one, remember your name, and two, it helps me, depending on how you pronounce it, helps me with other names too. So appreciate it. Yeah, welcome. Franchise deployed Ollama LLM locally and got it working in VS Code. Yeah, I saw that too. That's part of my plans. Also deployed Own Tracks, which lets you track your location with your phone. That is awesome. So yeah, I saw that Ollama has the endpoint to basically do Copilot, for your code with VS Code. I saw it. I was like, dude, that is awesome. I got to test that out. So yeah, it looks awesome. I need to build my AI box here soon. I'm getting super jealous. And I have a 3090 here just doing pretty much absolutely nothing. So I might borrow that for a little bit. We'll see. But awesome. Good to see you, franchise. Sup, fellow HomeLabbers. Jay Kiv, how's it going? Good to see you. All right, here we go again. I am Utpa. Hey, Tim, I'm currently struggling to create one centralized database for all my Docker containers. Any tips or advice? I assume that means. Yeah, so, So, I mean, it depends. So if, the way that I do it is I just create a standalone stack on that machine, and you can either refer to it by port, so let me, two things aside. Let me separate the two. If you're doing one gigantic stack for everything, which I don't think you are, the way to do it there is just refer to it by service name, because they can all communicate to each other by service name. Probably not doing that. What I typically do, create my own stack, expose the port, like if it's Postgres or something, 5432, expose the port from the container to the local machine, and then anything else on the local machine should be able to get to it by localhost too. Should be able to. This is kind of racking my brain on localhost with networking. But if you don't want to do that, or it's on another machine and you don't want to do it that way and expose it through like node port, there's Mac VLAN too, which then you could just give that container an IP address on the network. So, but I mean, that's typically how I do it. Let me know if that makes sense. You could also throw it into Discord, into containers. I think some other people have done it too. But should be pretty okay. I'm betting just something with ports is mixed up. So let me know. Also, rank almost at 12 total. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. MPCSCH. What's up, Tim? I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I gotten an IPMI card. Yeah, from ASRock. Yep, that's right. That had an onboard GPU. It turned out to be such a horrendous pain in the ace that I returned it and bought a Ryzen 5700G. And got a PiKVM CM4 based PCIe card with PiKVM pre-flashed on it. I've been pretty happy with it. That is awesome. We were so pumped. We were so pumped for that ASRock. We were so pumped for that ASRock board with IPMI built in. But yeah, that's cool though. That you then just shifted gears, got a PiKVM. And installed it and put PiKVM on it. That is awesome. Man, it's funny because there's I know some people who like that board, right? Because you get to throw any AMD processor, I think, in it. You get DDR, and then you also get BMC, or you get IPMI at the same time. But as you're seeing, and maybe it's not so good. Awesome. Glad you got it going. Desabotage. Can I request a poll? Upon moving house, reconfigure Home Assistant or entirely fresh Home Assistant install? The question is very relevant soon. Yeah, that is a good point. What I would do personally, if I was going to move houses, I'm going to create more work for you. But if I were to move houses, I would hard reset every device that I'm bringing with me. But when I put them in the box to move it, as I'm putting in the box, I would hard reset it. Hard reset it, put it in the box. Hard reset it, put it in the box, so that everything is fresh, right? Because you might have switches that are going to go on something you don't even have yet. And then I would just wipe Home Assistant and do a fresh install. I mean, it's tied to your home and your old home's data. So I would totally just do a fresh install. Yeah. I mean, I guess there's no other way to put it. And I personally would reset all of my devices too, because you know I have a random device that says like Christmas tree. That's not the Christmas tree anymore, and I have to do these mental gymnastics all the time. Oh, the Christmas tree, that means it's the fan in the living room, that type of stuff. So, and you might be redoing some of your network too. I don't know. Me personally, I'd wipe everything. Clean start, clean house, clean start, and a fresh start on Home Assistant. That's just me. Desabotage. I'm usually, team fresh start. Me too. Not just with Home Assistant, with tech in general. Me too. Back up all your configs. Start fresh, and then you cherry pick bits as you rediscover the need. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, keep the old config for documentation, absolutely, to refer to it, and like you said, cherry pick pieces that you want. But yeah, I'm totally the same way. I used to wipe my Windows machine all the time. I just wipe it when I was bored sometimes, or I felt it was running slow. So I'm big on that too. I'm big on wiping machines too. Allswing, have you tried using tail scale and tail drop? I know tail scale, I know head scale, but I don't know tail drop. I don't know tail drop. Man, there's something else I need to learn. So I know tail scale. Tail scale is great. I don't know tail drop, so I don't know. So I haven't. No, I haven't. I need to look into it. I know what head scale is. I don't know what tail drop is. This is the other end of it. Oh, I love it. I love all the names. Desabotage, thinking of something similar, but the amount of the initial work is holding me back a bit. Wipe it. Randoneering, I read that already. Let's see. Desabotage found out the best way for me, but keeping backup and starting fresh with a wiki and knowledge base. Yeah. I totally agree. So it's basically saying, hey, just start fresh, but document the stuff so that you can go back to the documentation and then, port some of that stuff over if you need. I agree. I'm that way too. Because my documentation just reinforces what I have already, most of the time, if I document. Like my network, I feel like, I feel like sometimes there's like the system of record or the source of truth, right? Sometimes I don't want to double document something if it's well documented by the system that it's using. Because then it's like, okay, now you get documentation drift and all this stuff. So sometimes the system of record is the documentation. I'm guilty of sometimes saying the code I write is documentation, which it is not. But anyways, I totally understand what you mean. Vronsky, Techno Tim, have you ever tried or looked into being your own ISP? No, I haven't. I'm just wondering how feasible this is for one person to provide for a local community. No, I haven't. And I don't think you would want me to be your ISP. Mainly because I don't have, I don't have the network know-how. I feel like I'm a level 1 network person where, hey, I understand the basics. I understand the basics. I understand the basics hardware. I understand VLANs and stuff like that. Figure, VPNs and subnets and all that. But when it starts getting, outside of that, levels higher, I guess lower in the stack, I'm kind of like, okay, like, I'm about level 3 and up, anything down lower, it gets tough. But I wouldn't trust me. I wouldn't trust me with it. I've never looked into it because I wouldn't trust me with it either. I don't trust myself to document properly. Yeah, I hear you too. I'm pretty good at documenting the hard things. But I every now and then I'll find something that, hey, I didn't document this. I have no idea what it is. And then I document. I am Utba. Hey, Tim, I was lucky enough to get a Dell Inspiron desktop from work for free. Nice. I installed 128 gigs of ECC RAM, 2x2 terabytes SSD, and a PCIe adapter. Crazy fast. Yeah, that is crazy fast. Getting 2 terabyte SSDs and a PCIe adapter. Yeah, crazy fast. Yeah, and 128 gigs of ECC. So it must have been, Inspiron desktop. So probably workstation grade. Probably has a Xeon then there too. So yeah, hey, that's a good find. That is good. Gotta love it when Work's throwing out stuff that's still like better than what you have at home. Yes, using 1 amp. I don't know what 1 amp is. Don't know what 1 amp. Maybe that was part of the Ollama stuff, but it sounds like kind of Winamp, but not, or Plex amp. I'll look into it. Zendy, I'm thinking of converting my desktop to a rack. Oh yeah, we already said that. Yep. Quite the Hugo boss. Quite the Hugo boss. On-ramp. Oh, there it is. On-ramp. There you go. Sup, fellow nerds? So Penguin Airlines. How's it going? Dude, how's it going? Wait, back up. So, okay. You're using on-ramp. Gotcha. iLoot's on-ramp. Gotcha. Because I was thinking like, what? 1 amp? Like, is this OneDrive and Plex amp or Winamp together? But gotcha. iLoot's awesome. Sup, fellow nerds? Penguin Airlines, how the heck are you doing? You pop into my stream about every 3 months, sometimes longer. Hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. Nice to see your name in there. Desabotage. Let's see. Whoa. Big one. Rubber Noresti. Ruber Noresti. I'm gonna keep pronouncing these names terribly. Oh, I kind of like how this is up. Now I can get a drink of water, pick my nose if I need. Get some water though. Okay. Ruben I can't pronounce it. I'm going to try one more time. Ruben Nuresti. I'm currently setting up Kate's cluster on Proxmox VMs running on Ubuntu 2204. Your videos have helped me immensely. Thank you. Hey, no problem. However, I've been struggling with an issue for 20 hours. Oof. My VM can resolve DNS, but the pods can't. Gotcha. I got you. I know what this is. I got you. I'll say it one more time. I got you, because I've run into this before. Sorry you've been running into it for 20 hours. It's mostly your resolve conf on the machine. And on top of that, so the quick and easy fix is I bet you're using a search domain on your DHCP scope. The easiest fix, turn that off. And how do you know, or how can you know if this is affecting you? If you exec into one of the pods and you do a curl and NS lookup for Google, you're probably going to see your pod name you're probably going to see, whatever you're looking for, google.com your search domain, and that's what's throwing it off. So, but try that. Anyways, turn off your search domain for DHCP instantaneously. Everything will be great. If you really depend on that search domain, I know a lot of people just configure it because it's fun, but if you really depend on that, you're going to have to do some resolve D configuration or resolve conf configuration to ignore that. Ruben Oresti, yes, in your router. So in your router, in your DHCP scope, if you set one up, sometimes it'll ask what you want your search domain to be. And you probably put in myawesomedomain.com because, why wouldn't I? And so I bet that domain is getting appended within the DNS for that pod. I've run into it so many times. I had that problem for about, I would say, 3 days straight before I finally figured it out. It was hard to figure out. Yeah, Unify. Yeah. It's right in there. If you're using Unify, I guarantee in your DHCP scope, just go in there. Inspect one of your scopes and look at your search domain, see if it's set there. I bet it is. Let's see. EDNZ Live. Been doing some Ansible for the past few weeks, making a full collections that allows you to install Hashicorp Vault, Console, and Nomad with HA and all configurable. Not sure if I can share the link in the description in case people want to check it out. Hey, EDNZ Live, I would here it'll get taken away. In Discord, stored in Discord, either in my projects or somewhere, automation. Yeah, absolutely share it. If you've got a GitHub repo, absolutely share it. I would say put it in my projects or somewhere in there because otherwise it'll get lost and buried. But it's a good place for threads and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I haven't done anything with Nomad yet. And I know Console and Hashicorp Vault for sure. I know both of those. Let's see. IO Fault. How did you find people local for the Colo? Are they also home labbing in the Colo? Yeah, great question. This is going to be part of that video when I make it. I'll tell you now. Yeah. So a funny story. Maybe not so funny, but so I think in one of my videos at some point I mentioned something like I wanted to co-locate some of my servers. Well, this group of people heard me say that and knew I would. No. He heard that I was in Minneapolis, and I think he heard I wanted to co-locate some stuff, and he thought there's no way this tech person's in Minneapolis. So he messaged me on Twitter and said, "Hey, we have a rack in the data center, Cologix, you know, pretty awesome, and we have tons of space. If you'd like some space, we can give you some space." And so around that time, I was also getting bids from other places to check out to see what it was, and then he messaged me. We talked, and this has been a long time coming. This has been like in the works for like 3 or 4 months. I finally got everything lined up to get it there. Yeah, just a group of folks. He's had this rack or this rack rented out for years and years. Young guy too, very sharp, and he's been running it for years. And yeah, he actually runs some of his home lab stuff there. And you know, he told me that, like, you know, hey, you know, through high school and through college, mainly through college and after college, you know, he lived in apartments and lived places where he couldn't have equipment. So he rented out space in a data center to a lot of the things he was exploring. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Anyways, yeah, more to come. Yeah, they found me, and I'm glad they did. And yesterday morning, spent 3 hours installing stuff. Yeah, downtown Minneapolis, not too far from my house, right across the street from the Viking Stadium. So yeah, in a Cologix data center. It was pretty awesome. I've been in data centers before, mostly private ones. This is my first time going to like a public one. Pretty high tech, biometrics, you name it. Pretty awesome. Yeah, they wouldn't let me film as much as I wanted to film in there, but I get it. But same time, very little B-roll, but we'll see. But yeah, they found me. I'm glad they did. My stuff is there. My VPN's already working. My ping time is sub-millisecond. Sub-millisecond for me to ping from here to the data center. And I think that has something to do with my ISP is also in that data center. And I'm on fiber, and I'm like 2 miles from this data center because I live in Minneapolis. That's downtown Minneapolis, and so we're pretty close. Sub-millisecond ping time. I mean, I can't even ping some of my wireless devices that fast. So it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. So, but anyways, yeah, I got pretty lucky with this. So yeah, hopefully it works out. If it doesn't work out, you know, in the future, or I change my mind, hey, I'll bring them back here. I'll send them out to YWS. Who knows? But I'm gonna try it out for a little bit. Let's see. Frozen video, maybe a refresh there. If you're running Ubuntu for nodes and disabling the stub DNS and resolver for each node, yeah, that could be it too. Yeah. But I guarantee I would first check on your DHCP to see if you have your search domain set. And then yeah, it's like cascading. There are a couple things. Yeah, it's cascading DNS basically. It's picking up the search domain and appending it to the next, even on public stuff. Yes, thank you, Sliger Case. Strongly recommend them. Yes, if you want to find me on Discord, same username. I have a spare I need to sell. Hey, MPSCH. Yeah, Sliger, absolutely. I have one right under my desk right here that I'm so ready to put stuff in it, but Intel won't make anything worth like really upgrading to right now. It's killing me. But maybe I'm just going to use this for my AI box. Like I want this to be my new Windows machine in here, but Intel will not make anything that's really worth upgrading for. So I'm holding out for 15, I guess. I don't know. Tough calls. But yeah, Sliger, absolutely great recommendation. High end, super nice. You could even fit water blocks in there if you want. They're pretty awesome. Digital Phoenix. Probably a common question, but I want to hear your take on it. How did you find the energy motivation to work on HomeLab after your day job? I have a couple things I'd like to play with, but I kind of just relax, sleep, then work. Wish I could. Wish I could. So I only work on my HomeLab once a month or so. Hey, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. However you want to disconnect from work, however you want to disconnect from life and relax is totally fine. And you don't feel like you have to like be working on side projects outside of work. No, I honestly wish I could take a week or two off sometimes. I barely had enough time today to like repair my headphones, and I did that only an hour and a half before the stream, and I think I got it. Replaced a battery in my headphones because it was dead, and I haven't been able to do it for 3 weeks because I've been doing video stuff, and I keep saying after the next video I'll have time to do my own personal side project. So don't feel bad about it ever. For me, the motivation, I'll say the motivation before YouTube. It gets a little bit confusing now with YouTube because, you know, hey, I do it, you know, it's part of my job now, I guess, part-time. So it's a little bit confusing. But before that, before I even made videos, for me, it was really to host some stuff that I wanted to host or build some stuff that I wanted to build that I couldn't do at work. I mean, now it's like there are so many things you could run. There's Docker. Docker is a thing now. There's so many containers, people building open source. Back when I did it, you know, when I was doing it, there wasn't a ton of that. And so didn't have a ton of options. But for me, it's, you know, I kind of plan my projects in advance, and then that helps me look forward to them. Like, you know, if I know I'm going to do something, you know, I kind of plan it out in my head or on paper, and then I have something to look forward to. But you know, I would love to, you know, not do that one day, or take a break one day. But for me, it's, I don't know, it's super fun to be able to learn something new, test something out. But I get it, like, especially if you're in IT at work, to then go home and do it too is kind of, you know, I totally get it. You can get burnt out really fast doing that. But for me, going back to why what motivated me, you know, for a long time, my day job is software engineer, and I write a lot of code. Rarely ever get to touch hardware. Never, pretty much, except for when we worked at a startup, and I was voted network person because I could, you know, install a firewall and do stuff to it. But you know, never got to play with hardware, do anything like that. Everything's in the cloud or in some data center that I can't touch. So, and plus on top of that, there are costs associated with experimenting with things in the cloud. So, you know, didn't get a ton of chances to do that. So I started doing the stuff at home that I couldn't really do at work, or that I wanted to explore more at work. Like, you know, I ran stuff on Kubernetes for a long time. Then I got the crazy idea to like run Kubernetes at home, you know? So, you know, it's stuff like that. Just kind of feeds into things I don't get to do at work that I'm still interested in. But your hobby doesn't also need to be tech. Just so happens that my hobby is also tech, but it's like a different section of tech. So it's kind of weird. Blurry lines sometimes, but don't beat yourself up. Just do it when you have some time. Don't feel bad that you're not doing it. because sometimes I wish I, you know, could not do it, and some days, but you know, but yeah. Anyways, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Never feel guilty for not working in your home. I don't think you ever should. It's not a race. It's not even a marathon. It's just something there that if you get the urge, you just go and work on it and do stuff. Joan of mine has been too. There were messages during a recent update about missing drivers. Okay, like a bunch of them. But no mention since, except it keeps crashing with the device error logs. Yeah, so I was thinking drivers too, going back to why your Kubernetes cluster was having problems with the network. BP Clink. Trying to solidify my network configuration, and there is so much to do. I have a current network implemented with Band-Aids and bailing wire, learning on the fly as I go. Need to implement OPNSense firewall, configure DNS servers, automated maintenance and management devices through Ansible, plus so much more. to do, and I feel like I'm crawling. Never enough time. Yeah, I mean, this kind of ties into what we were talking about before too, you know, about just having time for HomeLab or having the motivation to do it. Network is one that's like, yeah. For a long time, even me personally, like I band-aided my network for a long time for a lot of stuff because I was like, it's such a big undertaking to redo your network because you're going to take stuff down. So I totally get it. I totally get it. See if there are things you can break off, you know. I mean, it's tough if you're going to be switching over to OPNSense firewall and you're replacing your firewall. That one's tough. That one's tough. But, you know, things I did when I used to switch firewalls, make sure you document all your static IPs. You know, make sure if you're using it for DNS, you document all those DNS entries. And then your firewall rules, too. It just kind of stinks when you switch routers or firewalls because there's no easy export, import firewall rules, you know. For me, it was always like take screenshots, lots of screenshots, which is like the worst ever. But yeah, but you could do some of that ahead of time, and then just try to make the move really fast. Or if you know what I used to do too is I don't know if you're gonna you could still do this. You could spin up OPNSense, a virtual version of it, in Proxmox or whatever, to be able to configure your network as if it were downstream from your ISP, right? You could do that. Figure it ahead of time, do it at your own pace, make sure that everything looks good, and then export the config, save the config, and then hurry up and build your OPNSense box and then apply that config. So, I mean, maybe you could do some of that ahead of time. I'm not trying to create more work for you, but hopefully a little bit less stress. Because then if it doesn't work, you just flip back real quick. You could even flip it and do it to your virtual machine to even test before you even did it for real, you know? Put another NIC in, pass through the NIC, plug your WAN into there. Hey, this is my firewall right now serving all of my network traffic. Are things broken? Yes. Okay, hurry up and plug it back into the old firewall. Okay, we're back to good. Let's fix that, you know, and do that. So you absolutely could, you know, use it as a gap solution, but at the same time, you're building your rules and your configuration for your new production that you can then export on your new box after you get it solved with your virtual. So done all that too. It's fun, but it is. I know I know replacing your network can feel like a huge task because it is, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, Silverstone. That's true. Silverstone's good ones too. But it's not cheap. I hear you. I agree. That's the one I would use. Yeah, good call, Silverstone. Man, I remember building a few media center PCs on Silverstone. I was like, man, these are so great. Great cases. Dragon 2200. I just built an Airing powered Proxmox node, and I have started to recreate whole internal services, GitLab, Pi-hole, K3S, etc., based on your videos. Hey, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, it's so fun once you haven't had a hypervisor before, especially Proxmox, and then all of a sudden you start to realize like, hey, there are open source alternatives or ways I can self-host all of this stuff internally without, you know, giving all of my data away to everyone else. Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fun. Proxmox is really like one of the biggest enablers for me, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean like technology enabler. Because once you have that, you can virtualize or do LXC containers or Docker containers, virtualize VM that those are running on, however you want to do it. You just have so many possibilities, you know, and then you're only limited really by compute, which most people overbuy anyways. But it is awesome. And then RAM. But awesome. I'm glad you're doing it. Let me know if I can help. Zoid. Would love to see a video about leveraging public cloud resources as part of your hybrid cloud. Yeah. For example, spinning up a VM with a beefy GPU in the cloud. Ooh, that's expensive. And then making it your worker node for your Kubernetes cluster as a worker. Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. Like, I already have some hybrid cloud stuff, right? I use some Cloudflare stuff, you know, SaaS-based, cloud-based stuff. I pair that with some stuff that I'm self-hosting, you know, on my own servers. Same, I do hybrid cloud with GitLab and my runners. I run my runners at home, but I'm using their SaaS for code. No, that sounds awesome. But when you start to say use a beefy GPU in the cloud, I'm just see $. $. GPU is like the most expensive compute you can get in the cloud. It's so ridiculously priced. But I know what you mean. I don't mean to poke fun at that because it's a great example. But you just mean, hey, supplement something that you can't easily get at home, right? And, you know, I shouldn't balk at GPUs. Am I going to go out and spend $1,500 on a GPU because I want to do one task for an hour? No. If I rent that GPU for an hour, might be worth it. Rent it for an hour, you know, a month. Might be worth it instead of, you know, investing, you know, almost $2,000 in a GPU. Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. I would have that be a spot node, as they would say in AWS, or basically an ephemeral node that only spun up when I needed it, pretty much. But yeah, no, I love it. I do have some things coming. You know, I'm basically going to have 2 private clouds. I don't know what I'm going to be doing exactly yet. I have servers now in a data center, and I'll be completely honest with you, I don't have a great plan. I mean, I kind of have a plan. I know what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to move some of my public stuff out of my home to there. But, you know, there's so many possibilities when it comes to even just multi-cloud, multi-private cloud from home to what's going on now in the data center. So yeah, there's a ton of possibilities. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, what I'm really hoping that I get out of this is just more ways to explore different things that I can't explore now because if I take stuff down, that means stuff at home's down. But if I take my data center there down, hey, nothing's on it right now. So more ways to explore. And then, you know, I want to create more exploratory content too, like where it's you know, unscripted, unrehearsed, just kind of like blog style stuff, but for tech. So I don't know, lots of stuff that I want to figure out. And I am just can't tell you how relieved I am that it's not on my workbench anymore. It was on that workbench for like 3 months. It's nobody's fault but my own. But I'm just so relieved. I threw junk on there now just because I haven't been able to put anything on there. So I threw extra junk on there yesterday because I could. So anyways, yeah, it sounds awesome. I'm super excited for it too. Baron von Pfaffeten. I could never get it right the first time. Pfafftofen. Baron von Pfafftofen. I can't get it. Crashing my Pi and running Proxmox though might not be the same issue. Wait, my crashing Pi is running Proxmox though, so it might be the same issue. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. If it's running Proxmox, maybe you mean CoroSync, or maybe it's running full-on Proxmox. Romeo Jr. trying to figure out why my Apple TV 4OK on the IoT network is transcoding my Plex movies rather than direct play. I've added the VLAN subnet CIDR to my Plex, but it didn't work. I want to say I've run into this before, but I think it was with my Xbox. For me, it always ended up being firewall rule. And I know you're you're in the Plex config saying, hey, you know, I've added that VLAN CIDR to my Plex to basically say, hey, this is all local. But for me, it ended up being firewall rule, like, hey, you know, from wherever this your Plex thing lives to your Apple TV, that port, I forget what port, 8334, or I forget what it is. You know, they can't communicate. So I mean, just peel back the onion. I know you know all this stuff. Just make a base rule really quick to say, hey, this IP can communicate with this IP on any, you know, and the any, or the IP to IP would obviously be your Apple TV to your Plex machine, and any port. See if it gets any better. And then if it does, then start restricting it down to ports. But I know you probably tried all this stuff, because once you get into the Plex config where you're at, that means you tried everything else with the network. But it might be worth reviewing, you know. And then also, if your Apple TV is wireless, I don't know if you're doing Ethernet, you probably are. But just make sure if you have firewall rules that you have rules for Ethernet and wireless, or you don't accidentally think you're using wireless, but you're using wired, right? If you have one of the newer Apple TVs that has both wired and wireless, just, you know, make sure those IPs match up to what you think. That's all I got. I have quite a few Apple TVs. I've been through that before, but mine are working. The only problem I had was with the Xbox misconfiguration of them. Kev, hey Tim, hey y'all. Can you recommend a tool to create a dashboard to self-host? Oh, I already saw this. Oh, that was from the bits. I see. Oh, nice. I get these messages now, so I can tell when it's from the bits. Yeah, I got to figure out a way to sort those to the top, so then I can highlight them right away. Oh, franchise, I got a gifted sub. All right, you got it. Yeah, so from Maffney or Moffin. All right, thank you so much. Seems like you were all right. Yeah, I thought so too. All right, let's go. Sorry, I was having conversations with myself as I was reading it. Let's see. Aso. Hey, Techno Tim, thanks for the LocalSend video today. Love it. Hey, thanks. Hey, no problem at all. I talked about this earlier, but you know, or maybe I didn't say it, but that video wasn't supposed to be. Yeah, I mean that video. I wasn't supposed to make a LocalSend video when I started out. I thought for sure, like, oh, you know, I thought for sure it's going to be pair drop, like, because you know I'd used Snapdrop before, and I thought for sure it's going to be pair drop, and then with Snapdrop not working and pair drop disappearing due to whatever. I started looking for alternatives. So yeah, it was a video that almost wasn't. I was kind of hesitant. I'm like, you know, this is a video on an app. Should I do it? You know, like it's not self-hosted stuff. It's just an app. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Like I mean, that's what my channel's always been. Whatever the heck I'm working on. In a new home, what type of cat cables would you put in? I would go Cat 6. I would go Cat 6. I mean, you're going to get 10 gig on there. Obviously I would go Cat 6. I wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't think twice. Probably wouldn't put more. You need more than that. You'd run fiber or something. Cat 8 gets so crazy and is so stiff and so expensive that, like, you know, is it really worth doing? I don't think so. Cat 6 will get you 10 gig easily. I mean, I have Cat 5e in here that I ran myself 8 years ago. And because it was cheap, and at the time, Cat 6 was pretty expensive back then. I mean, pretty expensive. I should have done it, but I was like, I'm going to save $1 in Cat 5e because I'll never need gigabit. Turns out I do. Turns out I got lucky because 10 gigabit still works on my Cat 5e. So I would go Cat 6. Just go Cat 6. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. If you're ever going to do more than 10 gig, then I would run fiber, you know, only to the places you need it. That's what I do. That's what I do for sure. Let's see. I do have to. Oh my gosh, there were so many comments, you guys. Oh man, I do apologize. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna randomly click on some. I do apologize because I do have a hard stop here in about 2 minutes. Because we're supposed to be at a friend's house at 4, which is for me it's 4:10. But we told them that we'll be there at 5, so that gives me 50 minutes to get cleaned up and go over there. So anyways, I'm only going to click on a couple more. I'm just going to click on ones I see, and I'll get to the end here in a second. That's correct. We migrate all to a co-location data center, so no office issues like power and network all in one place. I so love it. We'll share screenshots in Discord next week. Melkosov, I totally missed. That was like a follow-up to something else. But yeah, share your experience. Share your experience for sure. I'd love to know. I'd love to know some of the pitfalls or some of the things you wish you didn't do or did do. I would love to see it. Let's see. JCX, hey, that was a random click. How's it going? Haven't caught a stream in ages. How's it going? Good to see you. I built a PiKVM and then went VGA to HDMI board. I used Broke. My partner spent ages with acrylic and mounting points to make an amazing project box too, and we're having to redesign it. Bummer. It's to give net access to 8 machines via an old PS2 USB KVM switcher. Awesome. And playing with StepCA. StepCA. I'm pronouncing it. StepCA. That is awesome. Randomly click on your post. Hey, good to see you. We talked earlier in Discord too. Pretty awesome. And that's pretty cool that you got a VGA to HDMI adapter working. I tried so many with my super micro server. It would not work. Would not work. But I think it has something to do with super micro because I tried it on another PC and it worked fine. So you got lucky. But yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Man, I think there was just like Obsidian Hall, subbed. Thank you so much. Thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Dude, Ilude, I see this now. Ilude, thanks for the resub. Tier 1, 42 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, one more. I'm just gonna go one more. I do apologize. These look like follow-ups to other things. I'm just gonna click on one. If it doesn't make any sense, I apologize. Twisted Grim, I'm up to 3D printing this weekend and family stuff before spring break. What great weather. Yeah, man. That is awesome. I totally forgot about spring break too. We're already getting there. It's already that time. It's crazy. Crazy. But awesome. 3D printing, I at some point I'm going to get into them. I feel like the longer I wait, the better they get. That's true with most tech. But pretty soon I think I'm going to need one because there are so many parts now that I would love to print. That would save me time and money. I would love to get one at some point, but they keep getting better, and people's recommendation for the one to buy keeps changing. So, I would say this is on purpose, but no, I've been dragging my feet. I need a place to put it too. I need a cool place to put it. I don't want to put it on there because then I won't have places to put other things that I work with too. And it probably needs to be pretty steady. So, anyways, all that aside, so I kind of want it in the basement, maybe in my server room. So. Anyways, hey, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in today. I apologize if I didn't get to your comment. There were a lot of comments. I am pretty long-winded when it comes to some things, and I do have to end things here right now because I do have to be somewhere. If I didn't get to your comment, one, I apologize. But two, you can join our Discord server. We have a Discord server full of 10,000 people that are awesome, that are helpful, that are knowledgeable, way more knowledgeable on a lot more topics than I am. And they're happy to help, as am I. So if you had something you wanted to share in here and you didn't get to share it, or I didn't read it, please, you can repost in Discord. You could even, tag me if you want. That's totally fine. Ping me anywhere, anytime, and I'll try to get back to it. But most likely, you're probably gonna get a better response from someone who knows a little bit more than I do about it, unless it's like something personal about me. But even then, who knows? But yeah, so join the Discord if you can. I would love for you to join. Dude, Obsidian Hall, thanks for the 100 bits. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your weekend, everyone. That is exactly right. Have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. There were so many subs, so many bits, so many gifted subs, resubs, new subs. Thank you so much. Crazy to think that this is real life. When, 4 years ago or 3 years ago, it was just me streaming by myself in here. So I greatly appreciate you being here. I'll be in Discord later on tonight. And need something or want to show me something or want to tell me something, yeah, feel free to ping me. Have a great rest of the weekend. Oh, I will be back here, same place, same time, on Twitch this next Saturday. And then hopefully I'll have something out for you soon. I'm going to spoil it, but it's going to be my Colo video unless something else comes up in between. But I have a lot of footage to sift through and a lot of things I need to figure out. But anyways, you'll see it. You'll see it. Have a good rest of the weekend. Take care and be good to each other. Take care, folks.